Ooh, what is Nathan Bacon dreaming about today then, lads? Is it how much bacon he can eat in a day? Or is it just the usual FPL? It's the Gameweek 8 Dream Team. This is the series where I build a team, a dream team, of any players I want. I mean, I could have a full team of Wilfred Bonies if I wanted to, why not? It's my dream. But unfortunately, I don't want to do that, as my goal here is to try and predict who will be the highest scoring players of the game week, so that I can then compare it to last week's actual dream team that looked like this. No, only the 153 points, amateur stuff really. But when you're seeing a Fulham defender, a Wolves youngster make his Premier League debut, and the very, very prolific Yuri Tillemans, who only scores about 2 goals a year, scored 2 goals in one game, then it just shows you how unpredictable this year is and how unpredictable a game week can be as well. Which is definitely backed up with my usual terrible attempt of the dream team myself that looked like this. And whoa, hang on, not actually a bad attempt this time at all, with 58 points, which is without a captain or any chips. Well, hey! Where almost all of the players could have had a lot more as well. And I even went for Ollie Watkins, predicting that Southampton would win, and said Ollie Watkins would still score more points than Ings. Whoa, wow, how good are my lads? Bang on the money, well, hey. But to make these expert guesstimations and predictions, to choose the players I think will do well in a game week, I use a great app that I'm coincidentally sponsored by, called OneFootball. So OneFootball is a great app, which if you're interested, you can click on the link in the description below and download for free today. It has a ton of very handy features, which not only helps me craft the best dream team here, but can also be used to look at players in FPL or just for football in general, including looking at players' form and his stats throughout the season in all different competitions to see, if he's actually doing good, and even looking at teams' form to see how they've been doing in their last few games, to see what teams you should target and teams you should stay away from in FPL as well. And finally, you can keep up to date with all of the latest football news from all the teams all around the world, where you can also follow specific teams if you want to keep an eye on them, and also your favourite players to never miss anything. So if you like what you see, check out OneFootball in the description below and download for free today. But moving on to the Game Week 8 Dreamy Dream Team, and for the first time, I'm going for a 3-5-2. Ooh, saucy, right? But the first player this week, it's Hugo Lloris. Now, he definitely is a bit of a Hugo boss himself, bossing that backline there and Spurs it. But the weird thing is with their defence, is that they've actually conceded almost the least amount of goals, only conceding 2 more than the lowest so far this season, but yet have only kept 1 clean sheet. How have they managed that? So in so many games, they've just been ever so close to that clean sheet, but always get teased at it and just let that 1 golazo in, which ruins it all. But this week, they play West Brom. The West Brom team that couldn't even score against Burnley or Fulham. Do I really need to say much else? How are they going to score here? Like, how are they possibly going to get past Chad, Eric Dyer, and Matt can't defend Doherty? See, impossible, right? Which is why I'm backing a clean sheet here, but also the possibility of Lloris potentially having to make a few saves here, as Spursy are just also Spursy, making Lloris my first Dream Team player of the week. With next, our first defender being Benjamin Chilwell. With this week, him and Chelsea play Sheffield United, who have been so hopeless in front of the goal. I think it's probably more likely Kepa decides not to be a goalkeeper anymore, turns into a striker, and scores against Chelsea before Sheffield United can score here. Meaning all of the Chelsea defenders will probably just be chilling well and relaxing, having a good time on holiday, getting the clean sheet here and all of the points. So then, when we ask who is the most likely to get an attacking return out of the defenders, right now, you'd actually say bloody Zuma. Like, what is happening there? But I think this will be a great game for a very attacking fullback here, where Chilwell was sometimes more in the box than the Chelsea strikers last game. Wait. So I'm not just backing him to get a clean sheet. I'm backing him to get 2 goals and assists, making him the first defender to dream about all of the points. With our next big boy defender, the 10-star skill move geezer, it's Arthur Masuaku. Now this fella right here, he's just a pleasure. To watch, isn't he? He can have like 10 players around him trying to get the ball off him, and he's still trying to attempt his 17th Rabona Rainbow Flake fakey bicycle kick pass, because that's just what he does. He does what he wants. But this season, and especially lately, he's finally getting a good run of games for West Ham, as they've been playing a 5 at the back formation with wing backs, where if you didn't know, he's a wing back now, much more attacking than a normal full back, right? Yeah. Which is perfect for him, because not only does he not really have to defend as much, where he's not really good, but he can just be that much more attacking, that much more likely to get FPL points. So this week, can he finally get something more than just an assist, and potentially get himself his first goal of the season, where this week he plays Fulham at home. Now, Fulham, apart from the last few games actually, have been pretty atrocious in the league so far this season, and they could actually be the worst we've ever seen. But lately, I've actually shown a bit of promise. With all of their new signings, impressing a little bit. I mean, not too much to say they're going to win games, but, you know, alright. But even though that's the case, I still reckon West Ham are going to get the win here. I still think they're going to get a clean sheet. That's right, wibbly wobbly West Ham defence keep a clean sheet. What is this? With our final defender being Tariq Lamptey. And yeah, I know, he's flagged as potentially not playing, as in basically every single game of the season so far, the opposition is literally just trying to kill him and snap him in half. And he looks like he's going to have to start hiring like private bodyguards to protect him, because why is everyone going for him? But if he does play, which there is big question marks over right now actually, he would play a Burnley team that have actually scored the same amount of goals as Sheffield United. That's right, basically none. Where they've only actually scored 3 goals in their 6 games so far, which also included them playing against West Brom and Newcastle. Yeah, not the best from you Burnley lads, what's going on? But Lamptey has actually been one of the most attacking defenders of the season, getting 3 FPL assists in the first 3 weeks, and then also getting a goal last week to top it all off. So, if he is fit and ready to go, a big if right now, and if the opposition doesn't fancy trying to break him again, I'm going to go for a guess, with that guess being him being one of the top scoring defenders this week. But if he doesn't play, we'll just auto-sub in like Zuma, Jamal Lewis, or maybe even Doherty. Whoever one scores more, that's the one I'm going to say go for, yeah? Yeah, alright, sounds good. Now, moving to the middle of the field, the midfield, starting with Aubameyang! Where, whoa, oh my god, he actually scored a goal again? Hey! I mean, I know it was a penalty, but still he scored. And maybe, just maybe, this will finally be the thing to make him put his shooting boots on again and go out and score even more. As for some reason, Aubameyang just seems to be one of the streakiest players I've ever seen in the league, where he'll go on and score like 5 goals in 5 games and then do absolutely nout for the other 5. So maybe this could be a start of a new scoring streak for him, where this week he is up against Aston Villa. The Aston Villa team that were actually very close to winning the league for about 3 games, and then have just come crashing back down to real life, haven't they? Now, even though they've been conceding quite a lot more goals recently, their defence still isn't too bad, but they are starting to show they're not quite invincible, and goals can slip in here and there. So yeah, I don't expect too much from Aubameyang, not quite a hat-trick here. I mean, maybe, but I don't think so. But he is just one of the most premium assets, with one of the most favourable fixtures, so that is why I've yeeted him in, making him our first midfielder in our dreams. And the first midfielder to voice crack about... Voice crack FC who? We're next, our first big boy point scorer of the week, I reckon, being... Go on, my son! He's now just joint first top scorer in FPL points, as they just flip-flop back and forth who's on top, and having a bit of to me, to you, of who will be the FPL point king and score the most points this year. But last week, Son did actually prove he is human by not being involved in a goal. Damn, how could he do this to us? But against a West Brom team, they're either going to have to try and play a bit more and leave some gaps in behind, which, you know, Son kind of likes, or they're just going to have to try and sit back a bit more, which I really don't think they have the personnel to do, or do well at all. And I don't think they're going to stop the goals from incoming no matter what, really. So I think no matter what way this game goes, I still think Sonny is going to score big here, making him our very big boy and our second midfielder this week. And also, whoa, what's that? Captain Son, you say? Maybe, just maybe. With next, these last 3 midfielders are actually either going to score a hat-trick each, or literally not touch the ball the entire game. There is literally no in between. With the first one on that list being Wilfie Zaha. Now Zaha, as we know, good player, great player, and has actually had a pretty damn good start to the season so far, scoring 5 goals and getting 1 assist in his first 7 games. But the penalties he's had might start to disappear, as Milivojevic has started to start again, but then he got red carded, so he's right for now. So after all that, we may see Zaha get them back. Or maybe not, Van Aanholt is still there. But you can't lie, his form is still good, and definitely good enough to start scoring against Leeds United, who, yeah, are a good team to watch, and their football is just very sexy. But lately, they've just been showing there's still some mistakes in their game, and they can be quite vulnerable at the back, especially on a counter, which is exactly how Crystal Palace and Zaha plays, yeah? So even if Leeds do get the win here, which I think they probably will, Zaha is probably near on top of the list of who will most likely to score this week, which is why he's in my dream. With next, the player that's had about 900 shots this season, has hit the crossbar around 43 times this season, but yet only has 1 goal. It's Leandro Trossard. Now this one is a bit of a sticky pickle toffee beer, because realistically I would rather choose the Brighton striker, but Morpie is just nowhere to be seen. Anybody found him? Don't know what's happening there. So for now, I guess I'm just going to have to choose Trossard, and I guess he'll have to do. Sorry lad, you were in fact my sloppy seconds. Nice one. But this week, he plays Burnley. And a Burnley team against Brighton might actually be a Burnley team, going for it a little bit more. And not sit back as much as they do, as they might think they have a bit more of a chance. But they don't know what's coming with them, with Potter Ball ready in action. And I don't think it's going to end well for them at all, and I think Brighton could score quite a few goals here, even if they still have quite a few players out. Which is why Leandro Trossard is my slightly maverick pick of the week, entering the team of dreams. With our final, can't possibly fail midfielder for the week, it's Jarrod Bowen. He's a goal-scoring winger in a team that are missing their main striker, so need other people to try and score, against a team that have conceded almost the most amount of goals and shots, and are also one of the worst in the league. That's the big brain energy thought process going on there, lads. I do actually think Jarrod Bowen is probably one of the more likely scorers out of anyone this week, never mind just from this game. But this game is one you never know. You could actually see an upset here. Could Fulham pull off a win? Or maybe even just keep the game quite tight to not let too many goals in. But I don't think that's going to be the case, lads. And I think West Ham are just going to hammer Fulham themselves, getting all of the goals, which is why Bowen, a great name by the way, is our final midfielder in our dream. And moving on to the attackers to attack the goal and get all of the points. But absolutely no prizes for guessing which one of the strikers will be, as he would probably be in every single person's dream team this week. It's Harry Kane. Joined top FPL point scorer so far this season, top assister so far this season, and also approaching that top goal scoring spot too. And he's just a top lad, isn't he? Who also has one of the easiest fixtures of the entire season, playing against a West Brom team that just can't defend to save their lives, who are also in bad form. Wait, is that possible? If a really bad team is in really bad form, is that just them being a really bad team? Because they're just that bad. But come on, I would generally bet my house, I'd bet my YouTube channel that Harry Kane gets at least something from this game. Or I'm really, really topping him to be the king of the week and the most points scored out of anyone this week as well. I know, right? Very bold prediction from me indeed, right? Making him our penultimate player in my dream. With the final player to dream about scoring all of the points in my Gameweek 8 dream team, it's Anthony Martial. Yes, I'm not joking. Wait, hang on. Ice Cold Martial has been amazing so far this season, getting more red cards than shots on target in the league. Incredible. But yeah, not the best of starts for him so far. But could this be the week it turns right side up and he starts doing well again, where he's finally back this week after suspension, ready to play the Toffees this week? And Everton are still without some key players in Coleman and Richarlison, and maybe James too, whilst also the entire balance just seems a little bit messed up with a lot of these players missing and they don't really know what to do right now. Now I do expect them to put a game on and maybe potentially get something out of it, but all I see is goals. Goals, and maybe even just some more goals. Where I think Martial would be ready to try and prove himself again and try and continue his form that he had at the end of last season, making him the final player to dream about in Gameweek 8. And that is it. Possibly the worst dream team I've ever crafted when you're looking at it right here in paper. But watch this one be the highest scoring one that I ever predict, because it's just how it goes. And I know it could be quite likely that almost all of these fail and not get anything, but that's why I like looking at players like this and choosing a dream team and guessing what players I think will do well just in a given week. Because if you just take one of the players, like say Bowen against Fulham, you might think he's probably not a good option, but then if you actually look at the fixtures for a long stretch of time, you realise, whoa, he actually has some pretty damn good fixtures. So he's probably not even the worst of shouts. And then Dream Team makes me consider players like Masuaku and Zuma and all these other kind of wacky ones, and sometimes they actually work. And sometimes when you just take it game by game and see that a specific team has a better run of fixtures than any other team, then you just can't avoid it, can you? And sometimes the not so obvious picks are actually the best picks, even for a longer run, or maybe just for 1 week. So that is it for me today. Thanks for watching, and remember...
Don't be a cheeky scrub. Subscribe to Nathan Bacon right now.